Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Glad with Dad. My name's Harris and I'm joined with my dad.
I'm Alan.
In this podcast, we help you build emotional well-being through a new perspective. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the excuses that hold you back in life. We all make excuses. We gotta stop making as many as we do them, and that's what this podcast is about. So let's get into it. What sort of excuses did you make when you were younger?
Oh wow, and I could still do them today if I if I don't question myself.
You have to question yourself.
Yeah, it's just and that's the beauty of the habits that I've formed of questioning myself and my thinking and my beliefs, which allow me to do what we're doing today, really.
Yeah.
And
but,
like before, I would say I haven't got enough money.
Yeah.
You know, that was common for me and many others, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
100%. And for certain things, you don't, right?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
You know?
But more often than not, there's a lot of different ways around that people don't really look into, because as soon as they say, I can't do this because of this, can't do that because of that, they shut themselves off completely.
Yeah.
There's no opportunities you're going to show yourself when you say you can't do it.
That's right. Well, we've already talked about that on a different podcast, haven't we? You know?
Yeah, we have.
The minute you say you can't, you're saying you won't, and your mind's closed. So
pretty much.
You can't find ways to and other opportunities and of ways of doing it, you know. And I'd say, you know, I don't have enough time. You know, can't be working all the time. What about time for fun? You know? I was having fun all the time while I fought. You know?
But that's not real. That's not real, is it? You could either prioritise your time, make more time, or you just had time that you just weren't admitting was there.
Yeah. You know, 100%. You know, it's just all excuses. You know, and you know, too busy. That's another one. You know?
Yeah.
Too busy. You know, and I wanted to you know, really feel sorry for myself. Really.
Yeah.
Because if I could feel sorry for myself, I don't have to take responsibility to it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and then, you know, it comes back to...
The fault's on everyone else. So.
Oh, 100%. And that comes into the victim mentality, you know. I didn't know I had the victim mentality. That's the sad bit.
Yeah.
You know, who wants to look at being a victim?
Yeah, well, imagine us as telling someone who has a victim mentality, you've got a victim mentality.
Oh, you get a smack in the head.
Yeah. They're not going to be taking it on very
not
nicely.
Politely.
And even like seeing things that make you have that self-realization about yourself, that can hurt.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. So then it comes to...
self-acceptance, right?
And forgiveness, really.
Yeah.
You know, forgiveness of yourself. And
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't developed that form, you know, of forgiving yourself, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because the self-condemnation will be too great. You're going to have to throw the blame somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I've done. I didn't know how to take
It's too much
criticism of myself,
Yeah.
self-criticism. I didn't know how to do that. I wasn't equipped to do that. So there's no way. I had to throw that, and that meant I created the victim mentality without even knowing it.
Yeah.
You know?
And the victim mentality is like probably one of the easiest states to be in at the time.
Yeah.
But it's one of the hardest things to be in long
to get out of too.
And to get out of,
You know, it's like, it's really...
And our society now more than ever is filled with people in a victim mentality. I think people now more than ever have, I think privilege now is such
Because of instant gratification?
Mm-hmm.
Because of instant gratification? People, you know, want things straight away?
Well, that, and also just how our society is built now, I think we make...
make excuses for people?
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to make excuses for themselves, so they're making excuses for others as well. Do you think that's, you know?
Yeah, and well, if someone's doing something that they're also doing wrong, they make excuses for that person and they tell that person them and try and make them believe it, because if the other person doesn't believe it, then they're like, wait, what if the other person's right? So I've got to get everyone else to think how I'm thinking, so I feel comfortable with myself.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why we find other friends that are victims too. You know?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And we associate.
So you can all mix around.
Yeah, misery does love company, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What about you? What's the struggles?
Well, I would blame others for distracting me, or even like biological aspects of myself. I'd blame those as if like I put a wall in front of me so I couldn't actually do what I wanted to do, you know. But those were just excuses, you know. And some of my problems, not all of them, because a lot of our problems are actually internal. But some of our...
What do you mean?
Well, some of our problems, right? Some of my problems were influenced by other people in a negative way. But at the end of the day, it came down to me. I had full ultimate responsibility of myself and how I acted and how I treated people, how I thought, all that sort of thing. What I had to do was I had to either change what I'm doing, change how I'm treating people, or change how I'm thinking.
So that's where the real freedom is, really.
Yeah.
Is in taking responsibility, isn't it?
100%. Really? I'm responsible for everything that I do. If someone angers me and I get angry, I got angry because of me. They didn't make me angry.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to say that, though, that you made me angry or whatever, but that's not the truth. At the end of the day, I am the one that got angry because of myself. They had something that could have maybe helped trigger that, but that was me.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so 100%. Take 100% responsibility of yourself.
That gives you power too, you know?
Yeah.
Really, you're not giving away your power, really.
Yeah.
You know, which is your energy, really. You're not giving other people your energy because you're taking responsibility for it.
Yeah.
You know, so that gives you, you know, energy to be able to do what you need to do to correct it. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But if you're giving that to somebody else who's been a victim, you've just given away all your energy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to come out of that, really. You know?
Yeah, 100%. And like we were saying before, if you're talking to someone who is also a victim, they're just going to bring you deeper and deeper into that,
just feed
that
it.
train of thought.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they think that's how reality works too.
Yeah, so it's easy to feed
yeah, definitely.
Feed the beast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is a beast,
and it's
isn't it?
Like how long have you let this victim mentality go, carry on in your life about being checked? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's most people are not checking themselves.
Yeah.
Really, I think it's a vital part of life to be able to check your... yes, and that's what we're hopefully we're doing here is to help people more aware of different things that I was never aware of prior to this journey of looking at myself.
And even if we're talking about something and it isn't necessarily you get exactly what we're saying, maybe it triggers some other thought in your own mind about something else that you might find some relief in or something like that.
100%. Yeah. No, it's definitely it's not an easy one. That being too busy. I've used that so much. I'm too busy. I haven't got enough time. I've got to work. Got to look after my kids.
We just recorded a podcast on prioritising time actually. So that one would be out by the time this one's out. So.
Yeah. And that's
listen to that.
That's been one of my excuses in the past. I haven't got enough time.
Yeah.
I've used that a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's an easy one. It's a really easy one to use, isn't it?
Yeah. And like the money. Like we're talking about not having the money, but sometimes you don't have the money to do
everything at once.
But you can do some things. And it's amazing by the time you do the things that you don't need the money for. It's amazing how your mind will open up to ways of creating, ways of getting the money, or the money comes in your life.
Yeah, but if you never start, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. People who think they need everything sorted out and everything figured out, and they need all the best equipment and everything before they can start, they're never going to start.
Yeah,
by the time they start, it's too late, or they moved on to something else in their mind.
That's like us. All we had was the money for this.
That's what we started with.
Yeah,
we made this, but we had to get a start, and then we got the microphones and stuff like that. But like we didn't even have the money for a camera, so we're renting one at the moment.
And then we got a table. It's not a desk; it's a second-hand table. and then a second-hand chair.
Yeah.
As we've got.
Yeah, as we improve, as it forwards on, we can do more.
That's 100%.
You don't need it all straight away. Like, to be honest, we could have just started this podcast with one microphone and a laptop and just done the audio. If we really wanted to start, we didn't need the lights, we didn't need the camera, we didn't need both microphones, we don't need the earphone.
Yeah.
So it's really, a lot of the time it's excuses.
Yeah, that's how I started my painting business, actually. I was on the dole.
Yeah, you just bought what? A paintbrush and a...
Well, I bought a scraper and a duster,
roller.
one check, and next minute I bought, a paintbrush and a roller tray, and little by little. And then I bought some drop sheets, and before long I'd done a little job and
got yourself a van eventually.
Yeah, got a van, and then bought a ladder, and you know what I mean. I borrowed stuff in the meantime. My family had it, or friends had it.
100%. There's always ways around it.
There's ways. It's just a matter of being willing. To find another way. So what about you?
Well, some more excuses I did is like I'd start saying like when I get this or when I do that, then I can finally start. Or this person's making it too hard for me to do this. They're emotionally impacting me. But at the end of the day, like we were saying before, our emotions, how we react to things and perceive things, that's our responsibility.
Yeah, well, that's where the freedom is.
That is where the freedom is. 100%. When you take it on to yourself, then you're free. Then it's not other people controlling your life, making you miserable. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Because when it feels like that, it's like I can't do anything. Because it's other people that are stopping me from doing these things. Yeah. But when you realise that that's not the case, then so
it's the same with what's just happened here today. Is we've had a few hiccups with
with this podcast. We've recorded this section right now 3 times now.
Yeah, and so. we could have given up, and I wanted to be honest, but Harris's encouragement, and we just had a bit of a break and rest.
Yeah,
and.
We're back in it.
We're back into it. So, it's just try again, have a go.
Yeah, 100%.
What was you saying?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. That's when the magic really happens, when you try after failing as well. And getting back up.
Yeah, 100%. And if I didn't continually go, it's easy. Life gets hard sometimes. It does, and
it really can.
It's easy for to be overwhelmed by life sometimes and feel like it's all too much, Yeah. And it's a matter of just, having that little bit of a rest. It doesn't mean taking... Like, I remember this old bloke saying, sometimes it's best just to go and have a little lie down. And it's not for long. It doesn't mean you just...
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're slacking.
And that just means a lie down. It doesn't mean giving up on your life. It just means having a break from what you're pursuing just for a short time and then having another go. And you'll have a different perspective. You have different energy. Everything will be new. And you'll be amazed. You can get through. It's just not giving up,
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why we would encourage you to have a go in whatever you believe.
Yeah, I think they did this study where they had these people have a question that they had to try and solve, and they gave a time limit, and they had 2 groups. Say it was 2 hours or whatever. The first group, they'd have to sit there for the full 2 hours. The second group, they'd have an hour on, 30 minutes off, and then the last half an hour on. Yeah. And those people were doing better.
Yeah, I remember reading a book thinking about that. It was called Maverick, and it was to do with business strategy, and they done the same thing. They let people run the time that they want. They still had to work a certain amount of hours, but they let it run around their lifestyle, and they have found the business just boomed really.
Yeah. Yeah, or the more productivity because people actually enjoy going to work because they've fitted around, or they're not resenting going to work because it's impacting other aspects of their life.
100%.
They can still live their life and work.
Yeah, and others, they done other studies in the same. They had people that had a rest during business hours. They had time out and had a rest, and it was actually loading a train. they had people that actually rested compared to people that consistently done it, and the people that rested for half an hour breaks actually had more production than the ones that continually went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know the coffee break?
Yeah.
Like everyone's got a coffee break in their job, right?
Yeah.
You know where that came from?
No.
There was a factory. They during the war, all the men were left, so they had to hire women, and the women couldn't do the job as long as the men could, but they could do. It was like sewing or something. I don't know, something similar, textiles or something like that, and they could do intricate patterns. They could do things better, but not as long as the men could. So what they did is they tried thinking of a way to solve this. So the person who owned this factory, he'd asked them what they wanted, and they said, could we have 30 minutes in the morning or halfway through the day to have some tea or have some coffee? Coffee is the key thing, because they learned that coffee makes you more productive, because it gives you a boost in energy, and that break makes them more pleasant as well, so they're more willing to work.
Wow.
But yeah, so the coffee break came from someone wanting to giving their employees a break to do drugs, pretty much.
Not quite.
To be more productive. Well, very quite. It is drugs.
Yeah.
The caffeine is a drug, and it's one of the most commonly addicted drugs in the world. It is the most commonly addicted, besides sugar.
Yeah, that's another subject in itself, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I started. Another thing, like what happened is I started looking at like aspects of my life I wanted to. I wasn't doing well in, and I really thought about how I could improve those things without involving someone else. Because when if I would make up the excuse that I need someone else to be there for me to be able to do that thing, that would give me an excuse to not do that thing, because the person wasn't there to solve it. And even if that person comes to solve my problem, I'll just make another excuse up that I need a different person to solve this next problem. So it's never ending.
Yeah. And then you become dependent on people.
Dependent on people.
Which is very, very vulnerable position, the vulnerability that you don't want. Really.
Yeah.
There's 100%. A vulnerability that's good, but that's not a good one.
Yeah.
And it's just sets up that victim mentality, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But so what are some like different ways you learned?
Well, I had to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Really. That was number one.
100%.
I had to take responsibility for my own life, and take responsibility for my own excuses in the way of looking at myself, really.
Yeah.
And facing the fear of being successful, and the fear of failure, really. The fear of failure being, how will I look towards others, really, and the world, really.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to be known within the world, or at least within the people that they're in contact with, not to be a failure.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have to be worldly successful, but not to be a failure is the main thing,
Yeah.
And the fear of success means you've got no more excuses, have you?
Yeah.
Because once you've got that, you've succeeded once, you can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah.
Can you?
100%.
And for me, the main thing is finding somebody that encouraged me to keep going. Just like you've encouraged me, come on, let's
give it another.
Yeah, and then I just said, all right, I will. Once I just need a few minutes rest, and then I got rid of being pissed off, because that was blocking the energy. And once I got rid of the being pissed off, the energy flowed again for us to be able to have a go the third time. And we still don't know what happened yet.
Yeah, we might not even record it.
This might be one of the fourth. Who knows? But we'll have another go regardless.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
So you have to take responsibility for yourself, but that comes from a few things. So first is realizing that no one owes you jack. No one owes you anything. Right? Second is opportunities don't wait till you're out of excuses. So if an opportunity comes, if you're making excuses, that opportunity is just going to be given to someone else who doesn't have that excuse.
100%.
And number 3 is life is hard and it's meant to look unsolvable at times.
Well, if we knew what everything looked like, we wouldn't most of the time
Life-
we wouldn't have a go, would we?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
life would already be lived.
And it's boring.
Yeah.
It'd be boring,
It,
you know.
it would. If that's,
Really.
it's like watching a movie over and over again.
So really you've got to learn a kind of a trust that everything will be okay.
Yeah. 100%.
That's a bit hard if you've been traumatised, really.
Yeah, it can be.
You know, that's another reason I would encourage anyone that's had trauma in their life to go and get professional help, because it's blocking you in every area,
Yeah.
really. I know that is, you know. I've had my own different traumas in life that I've got professional help, and it's helped me heaps. You know? So
Yeah.
it's been good.
That pretty much sums it all up, I think. I really hope you got something from that.
And hopefully this has gone through.
Yeah, hopefully this time it worked.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you listening in, and leave some comments down below with any excuses you've had in the past or any excuses you have now, because writing those down might be the start for you to get over those excuses.
To break through, you know. Yeah. Sometimes you mightn't be able to express that to people that you know, but just putting it down to people you don't know on here will help. So
yeah, cool, awesome, appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Yep. All the best.
Have a great
See
one.
you next time.
Bye.
Bye.